Now, Nonhlanhla Jele is at the Lebombo Border Gate in Limpopo monitoring operations as holidaymakers head to different destinations. Nonhlanhla, very good morning to you. What's happening on the ground?
Good morning to you and to our viewers at home. Indeed, we are at the Lebombo Border Gate in Mpumalanga, actually, where we are monitoring holidaymakers as they're making their way to the different holiday destinations in Mozambique. And as you have mentioned, a lot of traffic has already picked up this side. But actually, I'll talk to Colonel Maditi, who is the border manager here at the border gate, and you just tell us or give us an overview of the numbers so far. Good morning, Colonel, and thank you for your time. Can you just tell us the numbers? What are the numbers looking like this morning or in the last couple of days?
Okay, thank you very much. The numbers has increased. For last night, on the 15th, we managed to process 4,451. So that number it has increased by 1,400 as compared to last week Thursday, because last week Thursday we managed to process only 2,900. So you can see that the numbers are starting to pick it up, and then this is the first week where we are expecting the travelers to increase. But however, the biggest week where we are expecting a huge influx is next week on the 24th, because now there we are expecting about 16,000 mine workers only. I'm not including any expected travelers. I'm talking about only mine workers is 16,000, which they need to be processed in this area. So in addition, we are expecting another close to 7,000 of travelers. So that means now it can make it huge number. But that 16,000 of mine workers is not going to be on one day. We are expecting to be on 2 days, maybe on the 23rd and the 24th. But when they return phase, because now mostly what we receive is that they are going to come back on the 2nd of January, because most of the mines will be opening on the first Monday after the 2nd of January. So we are expecting also a huge influx in that category, and we have also planned around that one so that we can test a large number of travelers at the same time. This year our theme is that we need to process a traveler, at least because now currently we are having a problem because of COVID-19. The movement of about between 3 and 5 minutes no longer existing at the border, because now there are a lot of issues. First of all, the COVID-19 certificate, it needs to be verified by portfolio if water is still valid. Now, if it's not, then obviously we will refer to a testing facility, which we are having it here at the port, so that we can test it. But our turnaround time is that we need to have a traveler here for at least 30 minutes. That will be our maximum time for us to have a person here. We need to at least deal with these people effectively as possible, because now this area is hot. So some of the people are not used to this hot temperature. For now, I'm speaking to you, the temperature are moving around 36. Now later today it's going to go about 40,000. So you can imagine that people that are not from this environment, obviously is a disaster for them.
As you are saying, it is very hot this side, but also, Colonel, and also you've mentioned the fact that numbers are going to increase. Numbers have already increased from yesterday. What are you doing on the issue of crime? We understand that a lot of people are going to try and take chances and cross the border and not comply with the rules. Others are criminals. What are plans in place? Do you have any plans in place for such issues?
Yes, we've got the plan. We've got the traffic management plan. We also have got the security plan, which is in place. So in those plans, there are various departments that are sitting in that plan, that they form part of what we call Port Management Committee. So in that committee, it includes the Defence Force and also the South African Police Services, and as well as the traffic, which they are forming part of the road. So we make a detailed plan, which it has started from Kupastal. It's about 20 kilometers from here. We also even engage, and we are using the help of our stakeholders with the track. So in track, they are providing us in terms of the traffic volume as they pass the toll gate. So we can have an instant comparison to say, okay, the traffic volume at Macharo has increased. So 30 or 40 to 1 hour, then that number, it will be here, around here in Gomas. And then once we get that figure from Gomas, we know we can make a prediction to say now, out of that number as they gave us, half of them, they will be tested to Maputo. So that's where we plan our plan around this one. When we're talking about the security, we have been sitting in the meeting with our stakeholders. We've also even engaged our counterparts in Mozambique, because remember, the borderline is not the issue of South African officials only. It's a core-sharing borderline, which it involves the borderline, the officials from Mozambique and also the officials from South Africa. We sit in that meeting. Even yesterday we were engaging there. Even tonight, today at 12 o'clock, we are still going to have the final meeting, which we are going to emphasize that issue to say, let's make sure that there's no port of entry on the borderline. The borderline is a borderline. Anyone who wants to cross the port of entry, they must come through the port of entry. If you want to cross to South Africa or Mozambique, there's only one point there we can cross, is the port of entry. So that one is a message that needs to be heard. But whatever any people that we find in the borderline, because now the defense was that they will bring them here to us, and then the Department of Home Affairs will start with the processing. Because now, currently we are working under this COVID-19. It's not easy just to take a person from the street that has committed that borderline transaction and we place them in the cells. What we do currently is that we do what we call immediate deportation. We bring them in and we hand it over to inspectorate. They took all their fingerprints so that we can identify who are they. And then after we finalize them, then we took them and we hand them over to Mozambique authority, and then they will process them from there on.
Thank you very much, Colonel. That was Colonel Obed Maditsi, the border gate manager, who was just telling us that since yesterday, the numbers of travelers have increased on this border gate, at the Lebombo Border Gate, which is a border gate that actually takes you from South Africa to Mozambique. And he also made mention of the fact that security has been tightened around these border gates just to ensure that people who are trying to cross illegally, whether from South Africa to Mozambique or from Mozambique to South Africa, are dealt with. He also made mention of the fact that SANEF or soldiers are deployed in the borderline just to ensure that whoever is crossing illegally is taken back. And he also said that to us that now they're dealing with immediate deportation because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They are no longer able to keep anyone who is arrested in their cells long, so they do immediate deportation. But as I've made mention earlier, Desiree, traffic has increased on these border gates this morning, and we are expecting traffic to keep on flowing as we monitor the situation on the ground. Desiree?